Nation, we all know that Med Council is just a bunch of big government liberals doling out funds for pork barrel projects instead of dealing with the real issues affecting the downstate community. Here to comment, Med Council 2013 President Joshua McHugh. Mr. President?
Josh is fine. Thanks for having me.
Mr. President, welcome. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Josh was fine, and thanks for having me.
Now, Mr. President, in your campaign, you promised that a McHugh administration would bring hope and change to downstate. I ask you now, sir, where's the hope, and what of the change?
Well, I didn't really promise all those things.
Oh, really? Vinny, put up the picture.
Oh, well, that really wasn't for my campaign. But I like to think we've done a lot to improve the downstate experience for our class. We routinely facilitate communication between the student body and the faculty in ways to ensure that problems can be addressed when they arise and prevented where they can be.
Yeah, but let's be honest, that's a pretty vague job description. Let's get down to brass tacks here. What, Mr. President, have you really done for the class of 2013?
Josh was fine, really. But we did facilitate the One Small House donation competition. In fact, I'm proud to announce that the class of 2013 did raise the most money and had the most class participation.
But Mr. President, aren't you just pandering to your base, the charitable? I mean, isn't this the same cynical interest group politics that has led the downstate community to become disillusioned with their student government? I mean, what about the rest of us? What has your administration done to help advance the interests of the class of 2013?
That's fair. Do you remember the musculoskeletal class that we were supposed to have that was canceled because the professor went to the wrong lecture room?
Well, you didn't have anything to do with that. It was the perfect storm of events. The MS1s, they didn't know what the mini cases were. And there wasn't anyone in the lecture hall to explain that the lecture wasn't for them. Plus, I mean, lecture halls 2 and 4, they look exactly the same. They're confused by everybody all the time. And Marquez, the block director, he was distracted by the arrival of a certain special lecturer from Tennessee coming that very week.
That's what you might think. Here's what really happened.
Dolly's coming today.
See, just another gift to 2013 from Med Council.
And the Volkert Nation thanks you for it. Med Council President Joshua McHugh, everybody. Nation, as a lot of you are aware, you took a test last week. And you might be wondering, hey, what'd I get on it? Let's talk to the best TEM test grading team on the planet to find out in Indecision 2011.
Well, Fred, I think the main issue comes down to question 34. On one hand, 0% of students got that one correct. But on the other, the answer was stated quite clearly in the appropriate article in Microsoft Encarta 1998. I don't know why anyone missed it. So we couldn't have made it more clear, so therefore, we're going to have to keep the question as is.
Well, the class average was a 47, and I sympathize with all of you, but this is a little bit better than the other classes. These are good tests, so we're going to have to stand behind them.
Actually, according to new research conducted during the exam, that disease has been cured. So the questions are relevant and all points have been returned. Okay, Nation, it is now my pleasure to bring you today's main event, VBL, Volkert-Based Learning. Featuring our guests today, Drs. Robert Ovich and Albert Stanek. Okay, let's get started with the first question. Dr. Ovich?
So which one of these is an appropriate way to approach a patient you are going to be doing a breast exam on?
Alrighty, let's whip them out and do this thing. So in patients with premature menarche and extended estrogen exposure, such as the individual in front of me, risk factors are of course widely elevated by a factor of 1.2 to 1.7, placing this patient at risk for specific disorders of atypical hyperplasia, low to moderate grade ductal and lobular carcinoma in situ, cometocarcinoma, invasive ductal carcinoma, arguably phylloides tumor, angiosarcoma, but not Paget's disease, systemic lupus erythematosus, or gestational pregnancy.
My eyes are up here.
What? Hubba hubba.
No.
I mean, what's the point? Cancer is the unstoppable killer. We're just delaying the inevitable. There is no hope.
Nurse!
And when was your last breast exam? Whoa. I think it's kind of cold in here.
So does anybody want to answer this question? Amit?
Dr. Ovich, I think we have 20 minutes left till class. It is not appropriate right now.
Okay, I'll do it. Obviously, E would not be the correct answer. It would be if this were the male genitourinary exam, not the breast exam. Think about it. Shrinkage, people! The correct answer in this situation is clearly A. Let's get him out and do this thing. Let's, indicating that you and the patient are working in a team, do this thing, meaning you're respecting their wishes to move as quickly as possible through a very uncomfortable situation. And get them out, not using any medical terminology. And M is a perfectly non-derogatory and gender-neutral term, unlike a more inappropriate term such as bazangas. You never want to use the word bazangas.
Thank you, Dr. Ovich. Now it's time for the next question. Dr. Stanek?
Thank you, Dr. Volkert. What disorder is caused by translocation of chromosomes 8 and 44? Choice A, Bieber fever. Choice B, whatever is causing Lindsay Lohan to ruin her career. Or choice C, a cracked yellow butt with orange slant.
Okay, everyone, scratch off your answer sheet.
Oh my God.
I won! I won!
Can I use a lifeline?
Sure.
I'd like to ask the Stanek.
Well, my grandfather, Cornelius Sandoval Stanek, was actually the lead researcher of this finding back in the Gilded Age. So why don't we take a look at him discussing his finding on the vitrogramophone. Hello, how are you doing today? I've discovered a translocation between these two chromosomes. I suspect with good clinical research, they will determine that this leads to chronic teen heart thrombocytosis.
Thank you, Stanix. Now it's time for our last question of the day. Question 3. What evidence-based resources should we use in the event that our favorite resource, UpToDate, is removed? Answer A, Encyclopedia Britannica. B, check block directors' garbage cans for clues. C, do whatever Dimitri does. D, the Holy Bible, the King James 1611 edition. And E, who cares? All of our tests are on WikiLeaks anyway.
Yeah, I'd like to choose C, do whatever Dimitri does.
Wait, what does Dimitri do?
Well, you know, I like to talk to clinicians. You know, ER docs, gastroenterologists. Just, you know, get the perspective of people in the field. I'm really there all the time.
Why are you there?
Well, you know, if you can keep this on the lowdown, you know, I'm actually a nighttime janitor here. All right, so anyway, listen, I gotta get back to work, all right?
And that's the report, everybody. Now here it is, your moment is in.
One elephant doesn't make a zoo.